Welcome to Because It's Fun, a podcast about hobbies. I am your host, Connor Dempsey. I'm here to talk to people about what lights them up creatively. I'm here to talk to people about what helps them be their most authentic selves and express themselves most creatively, the thing that they want to do most in their free time, the thing that they would do for free if money were no object, their vocation, their calling, their hobby. We're here to talk about it, and I'm excited to share it with you. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This episode is Trisha Koger. So Trisha and I met a few years ago through my then wife, who knew her when they were in college. I think Trisha and I have only spoken in person once. The first time I met her, we've since chatted frequently on social media. So in this episode, it's a good one. We talk about growing up in an artistic household, her, not me, the dynamics of high school home economics classes, which I know nothing about, cats, the fact that the 40-hour work week is bullshit. We take many detours and talk about ADHD, which we both have, the very experience of being tangent prone, my own guilt over self-care, my famed calendar system, if I've ever mentioned this to you in passing, and you've been like, what's that system? Or whether you wanted it or not, it's in here. So you're welcome. We talk about diversifying your creativity, what that means, bullshit productivity hacks, and the rise and grind bleeding its way from work into your hobbies. The concept of what a disability really is and what people think it means, and a lot more. So Trisha and I seem to have the same conversational patterns, specifically the need to provide ample context. So this episode is filled with many, many stories, but they're told well, and I think we stay on message and we stay entertaining throughout. As far as length, this one gives the last episode its run for its money. I think this is the new king of length, is Trisha's. I also broke my format for Trisha, so this episode does have some pictures in it. So when you're listening on YouTube, if she references her art, take a peek because it may appear on screen for a little bit so you can see what she was showing me during our interview. That's it. We're almost done. One more episode after this. Please enjoy Trisha Koger. Hi, Trisha. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi. What you mentioned earlier, you have many, many hobbies, as do I. Did you settle on one to talk about today?
I settled on a medium.
Okay.
If that's good enough.
Sure. All right.
I settled on a medium.
Okay. What's your medium?
My medium is fabric.
Okay.
Our fiber in general. I grew up in a very crafty house. My mom did fiber arts as well. She crocheted. She did like the little tiny intricate little like doilies and little teeny tiny like lace work, kind of like baby booties and things.
Yeah.
But then she also tried a bunch of things. So we would do a lot of creative projects throughout most of my childhood. The older I get, no matter what new hobbies I discover over time, I always end up gravitating back towards fiber in some way, shape, or form. I actually, a little earlier, like a 10-minute sweep, and grabbed a bunch of handmade things that I could find within 10 minutes. And I can give you a very visual example with descriptions because I work in accessibility and I like to give descriptions of things that I'm showing for people who can't see them.
Yes.
But yeah, 10 minutes. And I just like opened a couple drawers, took out these projects. And so I have with me a very quick example of ADHD hobby hopping.
Okay.
I have two embroidered pieces that I have held on to since I was probably 15. In high school, I learned embroidery and
Oh,
I embroidered characters from Aqua Teen Hunger Force
yeah.
in a high school like sewing
Oh my
class.
God, those are great. Oh,
um,
they're
so
perfect.
so those are from like 15-year-old Trisha. And then I got a little bit more elaborate, I guess. And I made this in that same class.
Wow.
And so I went and found pictures online and I just kind of outlined them
Hmm.
and made this little whimsical thing for myself
Yeah.
as a teenager. And I've held on to it because it's actually good.
Yeah. Those Aqua Teen Hunger Force characters were on model. You can get sued. You better be careful.
I'm not selling them.
No, yeah, it's true. Yeah.
15-year-old me made them and has just like sentimentally held on to these things. I think I have one more embroidery thing in here that's actually recent. I have a failed experiment in embroidery. So this is my failed experiment. I was testing whether or not a tool could hold up to embroidery and like whether or not it would actually hold it if you removed any like stabilizing fabrics. And I don't think it's going to. So I did just enough to figure that out.
What is that? What's it? What's the material?
So it's tulle,
Tulle.
Tulle,
Oh.
like the puffy things under dresses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tulle.
So it's like netting. It's just essentially.
Yes.
And I have a idea for a pattern that I bought recently of a moth, and I had an idea of doing a type of embroidery technique called stump work that I've never tried before. And it's basically like 3D embroidery using like wires and stuff.
Wow.
So like this one, there's a little wire
Yeah.
in this, and I shaped the wire along the wing and then I stitched around it to cover it up. Now that I know that I can't use this fabric, I need to use something that's a tighter weave and not just like a net.
Yeah.
Or just a smaller netting would work too.
How small can netting get before it's just closed? You know?
It can get smaller than this for sure.
Yeah.
But honestly, I probably won't use a type of netting. I'll probably use something else that's a little bit sheer but woven. Because woven fibers hold embroidery in place better.
And so you just learned all of this by trial and error and having done it just from a young age, basically? Or, I mean, I'm picturing an academic approach to this hobby that sounds so tedious and with lots of studying, you know, different strengths of fibers.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm 37 and I haven't grown up doing this. So to catch up, I would have to approach it that way.
Yeah. Well, the specifically talking about embroidery, there is there's like a million free resources, but there's one, I cannot remember the name of it, so I'm not even going to try to say the name of it, but it's a school that has free resources on their website, and it's an entire school of embroidery, and they have classes available, and you can learn these really intricate embroidery techniques. So sometimes I just stumble across interesting examples of other people's embroidery work, and that kind of sends me down a rabbit hole of, ooh, like, how do I do this? Let me go search the internets and try to find it.
That's crazy. And so do you,
Yeah.
so did you say your mom was kind of who got you into it?
Yeah, because I remember she did cross stitch, which is a type of embroidery. She did that when I was a kid, and she got me into it. I really enjoyed doing it. And then when I was in high school and saw that we had a sewing class, I did that. And that's when I learned some basic sewing, hand sewing, embroidery. So
your high school taught you stuff? Like real stuff?
My high school was geared towards making sure that you could graduate high school and go into a job.
Yeah.
They taught us a lot of real world things.
Like about money and
no,
Oh, okay.
nothing really useful.
Sure.
Mostly just, family dynamics and carrying around fake babies that cry and,
okay.
and learning how to sew.
Wow. Do you think that any of that is like it has like a reverse effect on like on high school age girls? Like, I don't want to do this, or like it's probably meant to prepare, you know what I mean? Like it's so odd. I know it's not really what we're talking about, but it just makes me wonder.
Yeah. There were plenty of people, my age when I was doing it that had zero interest because the sewing, so I took multiple classes from this general home economics umbrella.
Yeah.
And so one of those was a sewing class, but a lot of people weren't interested in it because it was a bunch of like old fashioned things and like, oh, that's what old ladies do. But we learned how to customize things however we wanted to. And so everybody kind of went in their own direction. And one of my childhood friends signed up to take it with me, and he was the only boy in the class. And
nice.
And he tried just as hard as everybody else. Like he wasn't like trying to like not take it seriously. He was just like, this is pretty cool.
He wasn't there because it was an all girl class and he liked his odds.
Okay, that's part of it.
I'm sure biologically he was like,
teenage boys.
I go woman here I go.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Teenage boys. We if they're straight.
Yes.
And they are, absolutely. I'm sure that was part of it.
But he didn't half-ass it.
But that's not the only reason he was there. Yeah, he didn't half-ass it.
Cool. That's good. Good for him.
And I thought that was really cool. But there were so many different types of people that were in that class. Some people that I had classes with before, some people that I didn't know at all. And we were all different ages because you could take those classes in any grade of high school. So it was just a really cool mixed group of people of different ages and like cliques or whatever. And we all did what we wanted. And I did Aqua Teen Hunger Force and dragons and fairies. And I think that my friend, he did like a sword or something one time.
That's awesome.
It was cool. I learned hand sewing in that class. And so I have a couple sewing things. I have one hand sewn item and I have 2 machine sewn items.
Okay.
So my hand sewn item is I made stockings for my pet.
Wow.
More than several years ago. Oh my gosh, probably nearly a decade ago. But I made these and I hand stitched them. I made little braided.
Oh my God.
I mean, they're real stockings.
Yeah.
And they're reinforced so they could actually hold things.
Yeah.
But I made a bunch of these, one for each of my pets.
That reminds me of
at the time
Blues, like a Blues Clues, like the magenta, his paw. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a free pattern that I found, like I said, nearly a decade ago now that I made this. It was a free pattern for a paw shaped stocking. And then I just kind of like tweaked it a little bit to make it how I really wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And there's a hand sewn example, and this is felt.
Jeez.
That's not a fancy fabric, just a bunch of felt.
No, but I mean, I've got stockings and they're cheap. They don't look like that. Like they're like paper thin on the inside once you get into like the inner flap that you never see. And that's where they kind of just gave up, It's like, we're finished, It's like Steve Jobs used to say about the iPhone, like they would be like, why does the inside, like, why is the chip and why do all the little relays have to look pretty too? Like, no one's going to see it. And he's like, some people are going to, like the people who are going to take it apart are going to see it, and it needs to look good. And they're like, what? But it's some people look inside the machine, and if it, it matters. If you open the hood and it's ugly, then you're like, oh, cool.
Listen,
they only cared about one part of this.
I will say there is a saying in the embroidery community, and it's kind of divided by the home taught, like maybe more internet driven taught people. Like myself, I've a lot of the more complicated techniques that sorry if I seem distracted. I have foster cats that live in my office.
Yes.
And they just started making a bunch of noise, but I realized that it's because two kittens are wrestling. So they're fine.
Oh, no, mine's actually asleep, or not asleep, but down there on that little tree.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't jumped up here yet. He'll do that soon.
These babies, they come up and run around my desk sometimes. So I've tried to like shift a few things so they won't knock anything over and break it while I'm trying to do this.
Mine likes to sit right in front of my keyboard and lick his own asshole. So
one of my cats, when she has access to my office, when there's no fosters in it, she, like, I'll have my arms like flat on my desk using my keyboard. And then she comes up and she just lays over the top of both of my arms.
Wow.
And she props her little paws up on one of them and she's so happy.
It's nice for a while, but like he's like a stray. So like, or was a stray. So like even now in much calmer still, it's like, he'll curl up when I'm doing, so I'm watching something, he'll put his head on my hands and like, that's nice. But then like my face will start to itch or something. And I'm like, oh God, I really need to scratch my face. But if I move my hand, he's going to wake up. And I move my hand and scratch it. And now we're back to zero.
No.
Yeah. My life is really hard.
The fosters that I have right now were semi-feral.
Yeah.
And their mama she's gotten a lot better. I can actually pet her now without getting attacked. So,
oh, that's good.
Yeah, she comes up to me now to get pet, but I have to lower myself down to her level. She does not like people to tower over her. She will hiss and back away. So you have to like get down onto the floor, and then she's like, "Okay, you're safe now," and then you can pet her.
Interesting. Now there's stuff we could do a whole podcast about cats. My cat has had
invite me back.
Story. I've got probably some nerve damage in my thumb from when he bit me when I had to crate him the first time. Yeah, it's still numb on the inside of this thumb. No. Yeah, he tagged me real good.
It happens.
Yes,
it happens.
So
oh my gosh,
when I guess what is embroidery? What is fabric work? What does that do for you? Is it calming? Is it help you kind of silo out everything that's outside? Or is it the tedium? Is it the working with your hands? What is it?
It's a little bit of everything. So it's like working with fabric is a nice sensory experience because you're like touching the fabrics and stuff.
Yeah.
But then also with a lot of sewing in general, it kind of goes quickly. So you can see progress. Even if it's just a little progress, you can see it pretty quickly. And so I think that it's those little dopamine hits along the way that keep me doing it. But if I start to struggle, I will absolutely quit mid-project and walk away and move on. Just like, nope, this isn't fun anymore. No dopamine. I gotta find a new thing.
A new drug. Yeah. Start over. What happens to that project? Does it get tossed out? Can you repurpose it or?
I just hold on to it forever.
Okay.
The amount of art and craft supplies in my home is pretty standard for someone who has the background that I have, which is number one, growing up with a parent who also hobby hops.
Yes.
Number two, I went to art school. So I poured even more of myself into making things with my hands. And for a little small part of my life, I was doing fairly well off financially. And so I was able to spend money on my hobbies.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got like a sewing machine and a lot of fabric to like stock up on and have. But I always, no matter what, I always go back to fiber somehow. So I'll show you my machine sewn items. One of them was very planned out. And so this is a case for glasses.
Yes. Okay.
Or sunglasses. And it's machine sewn.
Like a little taco, a little soft taco.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
But you can put your glasses in there.
Yeah.
And the reason that I have several of these left is because one year, for a fundraiser, I made a bunch of these and sold them. And so I still had some left.
Sure.
Occasionally I give them to people. That's what I do. That's what I do with leftover things. I just give them to people.
Yeah.
Now, the other very practical item that I have to show you is not pretty, but it is well loved. Okay. And that is a rice pack.
A rice pack.
It's just a bag of rice. And you can heat it in the microwave and it's a compress.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of doing that.
Do not use instant rice. A friend of mine tried that and it was horrible. And I was like, why would you use instant rice? Like you have to use just regular old rice.
Wow.
Uncooked.
Well, a lot of neck and shoulder tension.
I get tension headaches a lot for multiple reasons, like hunching, scar tissue from having whiplash and a wreck, just sitting a lot, having anxiety and my entire body being tense all the time.
Yep. I finally learned.
It's very loved.
I finally had to Google, like, why do I twitch when I'm falling asleep? And it's like, because your body is tight the entire day. And it's only when your brain is shutting off your muscles that your body actually relaxes. And it's hard for it to make the jump. And I was like, oh my God, I must be stressed out.
Some of us carry a lot of tension.
Yeah, we must.
And I know, so I have always been tense, but it's also most likely connected to my neurodivergence because I am autistic, which has a lot of relation to like muscles and connective tissues and like all these things. And I also have ADHD, which can, cause more tension. Like all these things.
All of those things also make you more aware of acute pain and otherwise unnoticeable pain.
Yeah.
Like I've been growing my fingernails out for about like a month to try to like get them healed and like get them like healthy. Mm-hmm. It's driving me insane. I hate it. I hate it so much because every little bit I'm feeling and it's just like, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. And I'm about at my breaking point, but it doesn't hurt when I pick things up or touch things. So it's better, but fuck this. I hate it. It's so much.
I used to be a nail biter and I still chew at my nails and stuff. So like they're always in a little bit rough shape. But one of the things about growing them out is like your nail beds get longer and healthier and your nails go from being like this short to like actually being a
healthy, noticeable
nail.
Yeah, I know. But
it's kind of amazing.
But like, it's like, so I would definitely be in the market for rice compresses and stuff like that, because I imagine maybe if I can just like sleep under a pile of them at night.
That's what weighted blankets are for.
Yeah, but maybe. Perhaps. I think I gave my last one to my son, and then I think he threw up on it, and I couldn't wash it, and it got it's a whole.
Oh, you couldn't wash it? I can wash mine.
I don't think so, but I didn't want to try because the
never put one in a top load washing machine. Right. I do know that.
Yeah,
you cannot wash them in a top load.
I haven't, and they'll just fly out the side of your house. So
yeah. No, I have a very large washer, because when I was shopping for a washer and dryer, I needed to make sure that I could wash my king size bedding. And I was like, I like getting quilts, and those are kind of heavier. And like, I need something that can handle the amount of weight of this bedding. And so I just recently, one of my partners offered to bring me a weighted blanket that he had and wasn't using. And the first thing I did was put it in the wash, because I don't like when things don't smell like my house, because I'm autistic.
You're just like the cats. It just doesn't smell like me. I don't want this.
Yeah.
Did you make biscuits on it? But did you try to wash it?
No, I washed it successfully. I washed it. I dried it. It's fine. Everything's good. I
have a king bed, but I don't have king bedding. And I think if I did, I'd have a hard time washing it, because my washer dryer setup is pretty basic. I had to get a new dryer because a rat crawled into my old one and broke something. And the whole thing crawled in there, died, got stuck in something. And then the thing broke. Yeah. So I had to buy a whole new, and it was great. Yeah. So speaking of fabric,
I have more things actually.
Oh yes, please.
Okay. So, the next, two things, slightly different, materials, I guess, fibers. So one time I took a macrame class, and I did this one macrame project that I never trimmed the ends of or brushed them out.
Sure.
But I did all those knots.
Yeah. That reminds me of like those
unfinished project.
Those fisherman sweaters.
Oh yeah,
those longshoremen,
they're the big open knit.
They're big. They look like they're made out of rope. Yeah, they're so cool. They
look so warm.
They do look warm. I want to get one, but it's not practical for Alabama. And so every time I think of stuff like that I want to wear, I just contemplate moving north so I can wear things like that without looking like an idiot.
One of my partners is hoping to convince me to move further north, and I live at the bottom of Alabama for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't do cold.
You don't?
I do not enjoy it. I will visit people in the cold, but I will not live in the cold.
So this heat is, I decided that I'm probably stuck here until all my children are out of the house. But I think when I'm 50, I'm going to move to Colorado and go somewhere drier and that has
you have
seasons.
To drink so much more water. Every time I go, I see your kitty.
Back there.
So cute.
He is.
I have a friend in Denver. I'm actually going next month. I go to Denver 2 or 3 times a year, and I always have to like double my water intake, but that's partially because of how high, the altitude is there. But yeah, I have to drink so much more water, and I feel so dry the whole time.
I went to Albuquerque and everyone was like, oh, it's gonna be so dry, be careful. And like, all it was nice. I was like, oh my God, there's no humidity. There's not even any bugs. It was May. I was like, there's no bugs here. Where are all the bugs? Is it too dry for the bugs? There's no mosquitoes. It's like, I love it here, but I don't know the sea level of New Mexico. Isn't it a basin? Isn't it below sea level?
I am not a geography expert, or
I'm not positive. I would assume. Well, anyways, maybe it's because the altitude. I don't know. Well, I should probably check. Hold on. Let's do a fact check here real quick.
Yeah, I can't help you with this.
Sea level 5,312 feet, like a mile. Well,
maybe you don't require as much moisture.
Oh my God, that would be amazing because I don't get much of it.
It's just, you just get it through the air.
There's not much all I can do is eat like water dense foods, but like there's water right here and I'm just staring at it like, cool, let's pull up a chair, but nothing's happening with you.
I drink so much water.
You know why I don't? I think I subconsciously try to avoid things that distract me from rushing through my work and rushing through with my kids. And so I think my body's like, don't pee. Don't make yourself pee.
Aww.
And it's silly. It's like I'm too busy to do it, which is probably ruining my organs by not doing it. And I think
can't be good.
When I'm 50 and they're gone and I'm in Colorado drinking water for like my health, I'm going to be like, my God, I feel amazing. Is this what everyone feels? Is this what we're supposed to feel like? I think about that all the time. This is such a tangent. I thought that I was losing my hearing because I'm always having to like tell my kids to like, what? Speak up, like shout. And so I finally went to an ENT. I was like, I need you to check my hearing. I'm too young to be losing my hearing naturally. And I had a hunch, and my hunch was confirmed because they came into the booth. They're like, your hearing's fine. It's great, actually. What I have is because my environment in this house is so loud because of my children, I have like concert ear all the time where the tissue goes, whoa. And it recedes.
You're extra sensitive.
To prevent like actual hearing damage from the noise. So I'm constantly in that post-concert feels like dull noise phase perpetually, which is fine. It's just crazy that can happen every single day for years.
I love that you said that you are too young to have lost or have hearing loss when I'm 36 and I have hearing aids. And I don't have kids yelling all the time. And I've lost hearing and I don't exactly know why or how, but I have.
Yeah. I accept certain age-related decline. But like the hearing was
mine's not age related.
The hearing was like, this would affect, like, I can't, this would be an issue. It's like, I haven't lived enough life to like get everything I want out of my ears. If that's a sentence that makes sense.
Hey, you could lose it at any moment.
That's true.
For me, I learned, two things. Well, I confirmed two things, and that is, yes, I do have moderate hearing loss, but it's like borderline mild to moderate, and it's like one ear is like almost moderate, and one ear is just barely moderate. So like I'm just at the threshold of what they consider moderate hearing loss.
Okay, but
I also have tinnitus. And I have a 24/7 ring in my right ear. Oh. And so even though my hearing loss is not really severe, they recommended that I get the hearing aids because you can pump white noise into them through Bluetooth. Oh. And so you can help the tinnitus because it's just your brain making up a sound. Yeah. It's not a sound. It's literally your brain is just like, something's weird. Here's a noise. And so you can just distract your brain from it. Yeah. And then you won't notice that it's there. And eventually it'll kind of subside, but like, it's still there.
That's wild.
But I distract myself from it with white noise sometimes.
Yeah. I do that with my earbuds. Like if my kids are around and I want to read, I just have to put those on. It's necessary.
I like to do, so I'm actually wearing my hearing aids.
Oh, okay. So it's not like in your ear, like a.
No, it is.
It is?
Hold on.
Whoa.
The future is now.
I was going to say, those aren't my grandpa's hearing aids.
Yeah, gosh, I'm going to take it completely out to put it back in properly.
I'm sorry. I made you show me.
I'll do white noise in my hearing aids, and then I'll put my noise canceling headset over the hearing aids. Nice. I'll have this doing active noise canceling, and then the hearing aid doing the white noise, and that's how I fly. I fly with that. Going through airports. Yeah. I'm set.
You're in your own world. Mm-hmm. Do you do that when you do the embroidery?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Like, does it need to be quiet, or?
I can't just embroider. I have to embroider and something else.
Listen to something.
Because if I was just embroidering, I would probably get bored easier or quicker.
Yep.
So I'll put on a TV show that I don't really need to pay a ton of attention to, or a movie, or listen to something, whether it be a podcast or an audiobook or just some music that's real chill, and just I get to vibing, and, and I'm like, I'm just working on this embroidery.
Yeah. I was doing, so I think I was getting a ton of handwritten notes, like, typed up. It's just part of what I do when I write. And I was listening to the Black Pumas, and it was great. And I was in the zone. I was just like, oh shit. Felt so good. Yeah. I recommend that. Everyone listening should listen to the Black Pumas. I think they're great. Well, like, I do want to ask, like, how kind of it plays into, like, work-life hobby balance. Like, you said you work in accessibility. Would you want to explain what you do for work? And then on top of that, how do you make time for this? Or is it not a big deal if you don't get to it? Some people's hobbies, it's like a check-in. Like, you don't get it, it's like it dysregulates you. And for some people, it's like, I just do it when I feel like it.
I do it when I feel like it. I can go years. I only just recently made myself get back into embroidery, and that was because I wanted to do a project. And I was like, why am I not doing this more often? I enjoy this. Yeah. I'll go like nearly a decade between doing that specific type of project. Yeah. But I think that's why I like fiber art, is because there's so many different types of it. And because I am unable to ever choose just one of anything. Yes. I choose a medium.
Yes.
The ADHD part of me plus my polyamorous heart, the combination is like, I can't. The only thing I've ever been sure about in my entire life that I know that there's one thing is the color purple. And guess what? That's still not one thing. There's a million different shades. There's a lot. Tints.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's even that's not a box that you can get stuck in.
But, I mean, my hair is purple. I'm wearing a purple shirt, and I have purple things, and I'm sitting in a purple chair. I don't have to do any type of hobby all the time. Yeah. There's times where I'll spend months, and the hobby that I'm doing for 3 months or whatever is playing a video game. Yeah. There's times where the hobby that I'm doing is like I'm doing illustrations or something, or I recently purchased a used kiln and some clay. So my next ADHD hobby is going to be playing with clay.
Yeah. Will you make a clay frylock? That'd be great.
A clay frylock. Oh my gosh. That would be great. That would. Can't sell it though.
No, you can't sell it, but you can give it as a gift and say, this is my schmuck. He's a schmuck or a fry. Yeah.
I have 2 more things I want to show you.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So this piece is actually damaged by a dog, but I still held on to it because I made this. So I took a 2-day tapestry weaving class one time. And so I have a tiny little tapestry that I wove.
Where do you find these classes? Like, how does one become aware of those?
Okay. So the Mobile Museum of Art has community art classes for kids all the way up to adults. They also do a lot of events with demos that you can participate in. They're awesome. So this tapestry weaving class I took at the Mobile Museum of Art, and it was over one weekend. We came in 2, I think it was 4-hour days. Mm-hmm. And then I had to take mine home and finish it because I'm slow at everything I do because I'm so meticulous. Yeah. Yeah. But you can kind of see there's like blending of colors happening. Yeah. There's different types of weaves. The blending is actually really straightforward in like a logical way.
I'd find a way to fuck it up. I'm telling you. You say it's simple. I don't.
It really is. It's literally just
I don't believe you.
You literally just take two pieces of whatever you're using, yarn, or like in embroidery, you can do the same thing. And like everything is actually like one piece of yarn is like three pieces of yarn twisted around each other. Yeah. So you take those apart in two different colors, and then you piece them back together in variations.
Nope,
so you do like one color, one of the other, and then you move to like
I can't do it. I know it's like technical and not.
Yeah, it's just a pattern.
I can't. I can. The idea of having to fray them and then get them working back together and then back how they're supposed to be once you're done with the blend.
Oh, yeah, that's the beauty of it. When you're done with it, it doesn't have to be perfect, because with tapestry weaving, it's all wool yarn, and the part that gets woven down, the way that it works is you just keep packing rows on top of each other and packing. And so by the time it's done, you can't tell if those fibers are twisted around each other or if they're all laying straight or whatever. In. They're so packed in with each other.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, you can pack it too much and then you lose your shape. It was a really interesting experience for me to learn tapestry weaving, because that's probably not something I would have ever thought to do. I follow the Mobile Museum of Art on Facebook, and every time they post an event, I go check it out. And then I've signed up for their newsletter. And so when they do their monthly newsletter, they list all the classes for that month. And so I'll go through, and if I see something that sounds really cool, then I'll sign up for it.
Yeah.
But I find really cool events in like the Mobile area all the time.
And just drop in when when you're free.
Yeah. And I take people with me and they're like, how do you find these things? I'm just like, Facebook events.
They just tell you. Yeah, it really is like, it's crazy because like it is simple to get information if you just know where it's coming from. You
have to train an algorithm so that it knows. And I enjoy training algorithms.
Yeah.
I like, inputting data and watching it return.
Reinforcing it.
Yeah. I'm like, yes,
good.
Do what I want.
Yes. Giving it encouragament when it does a good job.
Everything else on Facebook is terrible algorithm wise. Like the ads they give me, I'm like, who do you think I am?
Posts by people I don't know. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, the events, I've got that down. I mean,
isn't that one of the things that they like spun off into its own app? Well, you know how they spun Messenger off into its own app? I think Facebook events is another like, we're just going to make this. I'm going to go look, because I swear to God they did that.
I'll look.
Because I used to have that, I think. I see you, Meta. Oh. You can't hide from me. I know what you did. I know this existed. I'm not crazy. They buried it.
I'm a different kind of crazy.
I think they did that for a few things, and they're like, oh, wait, no, this means people aren't going to stay on the app itself.
Yeah.
Torpedo those other apps right now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm going to show you one last thing.
Okay.
Before I show it to you, I want to say that I did not embroider this. I purchased fabric that had been machine embroidered. So just to let you know, because every time I show it to people, they're like looking at the embroidery on the fabric. I'm like, no, I didn't do that.
Okay.
So I made this lampshade.
Okay. Whoa.
I put there's little dragonfly charms.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Beading. Off and on, I worked on it. Sometimes I only worked on it once a month, for about a year.
Yeah.
Is how long it took me to do. And it was a project that I just, every now and then I would grab it and I'd work on it. I do monthly craft hangs with my friends, and we hang out at somebody's house and we work on whatever craft we're working on at the time. Usually everybody else gets a lot more done than me, because I just talk the whole time and don't actually craft, because I am not good at multitasking.
Yes. You're either have to be hollowed out, and siloed off to do the multitasking, or you just got to be social.
Yeah, I can't do both. I've made so many things. I've tried making clothing before. I'm not very good at that, but I would like to get better.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine and I, and also one of my partners, all three of us have a goal of tailoring our own clothing.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
so I went thrift shopping with each of them at different times, and we all got a bunch of things that maybe needed a little bit of something to work. And then we also like went through some of our existing clothes. Now the three of us have all these sewing projects. And so when I visit each of them, it's like giving me more excitement to want to do it.
Yeah.
I have experienced burnout in the past.
Yes, I was going to ask about burnout.
I've figured out over time that I have to be creative in some way.
Yes.
But I prefer if I have different types of creativity to exercise different parts of my brain.
Yes.
And so for my job, so I said I was going to say what I did and then I didn't.
Oh, that's fine.
But for my job, I help people make their websites and apps and any digital interface software, anything like that. Like I work with clients to help them make their products more accessible.
Yeah.
And sometimes that requires creative solutions. But it also requires, well, it may not require it. I think it requires it. Maybe some people would disagree, but it uses a lot of emotional labor as well, because you're constantly using empathy to think about how each thing would impact somebody with this type of disability or this type of disability. Right. I'm constantly telling people that I get paid to try to convince people to care about other people.
Oh, that's taxing, because when they don't, or when you think about like
it's hard.
The widespread, that must take a huge toll.
It's hard. I have argued with a lot of clients over the years. I will always have to put myself into confrontational situations because of the fact that I chose to work in accessibility for a reason. I used to be a web designer. I got burnt out because I was being forced to be creative. But then everybody wanted me to do the same thing that every other website did.
Yep.
But then there was a time where I worked at a job. I was right out of college. I was there for 5 years, and I had to design a new website for a new client every week. During that week, I was also taking meetings with other clients to get in the queue to design their sites the following weeks. And so I got burnt out pretty bad doing that. Eventually, I learned some front-end development, and that really helped me, I think, be a better designer. But when I started doing accessibility, I realized the impact of it, how important it is, and decided that I cared more about that when I was working on projects than I did the design or the development, on their own. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to do this for my career then, I guess. I've been doing that ever since. But to answer your question about balance, at the moment, I only work part-time. Mm-hmm. Partially by choice and partially because the job market is not great. And I was laid off back in 2024. We're doing what we got to do.
Yeah.
Working part-time, and I get to make my own hours with the exception of some meetings.
Yeah.
I get to choose to put energy into things that I never could do working a 40-hour week.
Yeah.
Which even before I stopped working a 40-hour week, I argued about burnout with people and how working 40 hours a week is just not a sustainable way for humans to live. Yeah. And the fact that we spend more time at work than at home with our families, that all of our energy is used at work, and then we get home from work and we're exhausted. We have nothing left to give. Yep. And it's a horrible way to live.
It's awful.
So I think that is part of the reason that some people do feel more driven to do their hobbies. I know for me, for a long time, I only ever did, something fiber related for gifts for people. I never did it just as like a thing to do. I would think of a gift for somebody and go, oh, I'm going to make such and such. And then I would go and I would figure out how to do the thing that I was going to do. Because of course I'd never done it before.
Yes.
But I've made dolls. I made a cute little felt like embroidered mouse doll for my oldest niece because she was obsessed with Cocomelon, and there's like a little mouse in it.
Yes.
I drew it out based off of their freely available graphics and stuff, which are really awesome to print off and use for birthday parties. I like custom designed. My niece's very first, she's 6 now, but her first birthday was all of the cutesy little characters and their little PJs and stuff, and doing this and doing that, and the little mouse. And so we had like a birthday banner, and I made little like cupcake toppers and a cake topper. And it was all from this freely available, downloadable graphics that are official. Like they just are like, here you go.
Yeah. Open source.
Yeah. It's lovely. I think because I always work jobs that at least some part of it like sparks the creativity that I need to use.
Yeah.
And if I feel like I'm not using it for a while, that's when I start to feel that burnout, and I start to feel like I'm just drained of everything. And so currently my situation is most likely temporary. I'm sure that once I'm ready to take on more work, that I'll probably end up having to take on more than a part-time amount of hours. But until then, I'm going to keep doing it, because having work-life balance is impossible if you work a full-time job.
Yeah.
That's an intentional thing. You can't be thriving. And I think a lot of people, their hobbies are more of a lifeline than a fun way to express themselves.
Yes. It's nice when it's both. Like for some people, it's just like, I have to spend the entire Sunday fishing, and I need to be away from everyone, because it's just like, I need this or I'm going to go fucking crazy. Like, and it's just because my job sucks and the world sucks. Everyone needs me. And so I just need a day where no one needs me. And I fully get that, because it's like, it's not really about fishing at all. It's just, I want to be alone. And when you're on a boat in water, there's no one around, and it's just, I'm sure it's really peaceful. I write, I do podcasts, I read, I'm doing stuff. I am always doing stuff, because I'm like you in that way. Like I like to diversify my creativity, because it's not just pen to paper or finger to keyboard. It's like, I need to edit something. And so but I also need to talk about something. And so so I had to figure out how to like channel a manageable amount of hobbies into those areas that I need, and try to overlap them as much as I can. If your job is very stressful or long, or even if it's creative adjacent, it's like, it can be more draining than working a non-creative job. Cause it's like it's
forced creativity is, you can't,
they're like, we want you to make something and we want you to be artistic, but it really needs to look like this. And so it's like,
and it needs to make us a lot of money.
Yeah. Those are different things. And to pretend that they can be looped together, it's like,
it's ridiculous.
It is. And so like, it can be hard to spend 40 hours a week, like edging towards actual creativity and always being stopped from being creative. It's like, when you get home, it's like, first thing I want to do is create something, just for me. And if you're like, building a car, or like, I don't know, like not like that's a job anymore, but like, if you were like, I don't know, if you assemble bicycles all day or something, and maybe you hate that, but at least you're not thinking creatively, you're just doing mechanical shit. And then you go home and it's like, I'm not stressed, but I'd like to read or go outside.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, I didn't spend all day almost creating. I got to just shut that part of my brain off. It
made a huge difference for me whenever I got out of a job that was trying to force a kind of creativity that I was like, I can't keep doing this. It doesn't feel like I have anything left afterwards. Yep. And for a long time, I would tell people like I wouldn't work on things because I just didn't have the energy or the desire. I stopped making art. there was probably about a decade where I made almost no art. Now it's kind of the same as craft, where I'll think, oh, I want to do something nice for somebody. I'll draw them. I'll draw them something. I'll illustrate something for them.
Inspiration has struck.
Yes,
there's a why.
And I know that this is a very common thing with autism, is that like I need to understand a purpose. Like you said, the why, like that's my favorite question is why, which is why I'm good at my job, because I ask people why they're doing the things they're doing.
Yes.
And if they don't have a good reason,
it's shocking how many people don't have an answer to that question.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know.
It's a lot.
We just have to.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We just do it because we've always done it this way, which is not a good answer.
No, if we stop moving, we'll die. So we need to do something. Yeah. Well, if I don't know why, then I can't make creative decisions. Like I don't have a tiebreaker. Yes. Oh, that's a sweet kitten.
Right now, I have the most creative energy that I've had in over a decade. And it's still not near the amount that I used to have in college. I know that for me personally, having the ability to work part-time and pay my bills, and also be able to be creative with my hands and make something physical, but then also be creative with my analytic side and come up with creative solutions to problems with code and websites. You know, I like using all the parts. And I also write, usually, like, I'm a big journaler. And I write my journals as if someone will one day find them and read them.
I do that as well.
I blame 90s sitcoms. And like the kids like reading out loud as they're writing in their diaries and journals and stuff. What did you say? To diversify the creativity.
Right. That's the part that's fun for me, because then if you do go like, I don't feel like it's like you can do something and still feel like, again, maybe it's just like some of that like rise and grind productivity bullshit that got ported over into my hobbies, to where I feel like I always have to be doing a hobby, or
hobbies don't have to be.
It's like when you wake up, it's like Inception. Like you wake up from one dream, but you're still dreaming. Like you thought you escaped, but you're not, you haven't escaped. It's like I escape work. It's like, all right, I made it out of work. Now I get to create. And you get anxiety if you don't create. And then you wonder like, isn't the point of this to not feel like I have to do it? But like I said, for some people, like their hobby, it's like, it's a reset. And if they don't do it, it's like not eating. It's like get hangry.
There's a reason that there are so many artists that pour themselves into their art nonstop, or they wake up at 3:00 in the morning and do art. I actually lived with somebody like that one time, that would wake up in the middle of the night with an idea and she could not sleep unless she did it. And so she would get up and she would paint. And it didn't matter what time of day it was, she would get up and paint. Yeah. And then the next day I'd get up and be like, oh, that's cool. Like, she'd be like, yeah, I haven't slept.
I know. But I bet like that's invigorating. And like, I don't want to be cynical and assume that like rise and grind snuck its way into like our free time, not just our working hours, but our free time.
It did though.
It did, but I guess to say it can be both. It is both. Yes. Like it has infected our ability to truly relax, because even with our hobbies, we have to feel like we're getting enough us time to balance the work time that was taken from us. And it's like a false dichotomy, like a two-party system that we made, to where it's like, it's all a trick, both of them. But like, but luckily with hobbies, it's also like, but if you do the hobby and you're actually proud of it and it does have a positive result, like you are more centered and you feel like, for me, like as a parent, like if I don't do it, I feel like I'm abandoning what's left of my identity as a non-parent. Like I understand, like, especially if I'll read, there's a book called The Baby on the Fire Escape. And it was about like essentially throughout history, how women especially were judged for pursuing art instead of being parents. And like, I know what that's like because that's me. But I'm judging myself, but I also know like, but I have to do this or I am out of whack. I am dysregulated and I turn into an asshole, and I've got to do it because I can't,
it's self-soothing.
I can't just do the one thing. And that makes me feel like a piece of shit. Cause it's like the one thing is like really important, and and so much of it is good fortune, and like it's like it shouldn't feel like the obligation, but any parent will tell you like there's a fair amount of it that is just hard and Sisyphean. And so to have some measure of control, like, well, I can digitize these notes tonight and I'm doing something. I can throw these pages away and I've done something. Like I've just done something for me. And for some people, for too many people, what that thing is just like watching TV or just scrolling social media. When you've actually made something or done something that feels not low tech, not analog, but like rooted in something timeless. Writing is a very, very old thing. Fabric work is a very, very old thing. And there's something very deep and human and mind body about it, where engaging with your hands, with your thoughts, undistracted by screens and noise, that taps into something satisfying. I think if you feel the need to have to do it, then the hardest part seems to always, there's always like cost. Like I always ask people like, what's the startup cost to get into this hobby? But and it's like, how far do you want to go with it?
I've spent a lot of money over the years.
Right. That's the thing about expertise. It's like to talk to people who it's their thing. It's like, I learned it and there's a learning curve, but at a certain point, you're just doing it.
Yeah, that's not the case for me, but I think that is probably a lot to do with my neurotype. Not ever feeling like I can just do it without thinking.
Sure.
I feel like I'm always overthinking everything that I do. So like in embroidery, I have shaky hands. When I'm working with small details, I have to stab the needle into the fabric like 6 times before I actually hit the target that I'm trying to. I'm like, I need it to go in between these 2 threads here. And it takes me so many attempts to do it. So I have to think really hard about it when I'm doing it, which is why it's good for me.
Yeah.
Because inside my head, there's just like a million little thoughts ping-ponging back and forth at all times, and it's never quiet.
Yeah.
So if I can focus enough of my mental energy into
what's in front of you,
then it kind of gets quieter. And especially if I have something also like I've got all the senses are being used. Flood my brain with different types of stimuli, and also trying to focus on a thing, and then I don't think about any of the other thoughts in my head.
It's just it's half of the skill of all of this is the misdirection of your own mind. Is just like, well, I can't stop thinking about this, so maybe I can think about something else, and my brain will just do that thing it does, and it'll pick priority. And you can like hijack your like predator response to like, well, now I need to stick the pin into this thing, and that's important. And your brain goes, okay, okay, I trust you.
See, I can't trick my brain using. There's so many tricks. People are like, oh, you just got to do this, and I'm like, doesn't work.
It doesn't. Yeah,
no.
I
have ADHD. My brain does not know what motivation is unless a person shows up and says, "Here's your motivation."
The most offensive thing that people keep saying to me is like, "Oh, you just do it." I don't get it. It's like you I can't just do things.
So I got into a big fight with one of my friends over that, and she actually came back a lot later and was like, I'm so sorry for the time that I told you to do, like, she's like, I've learned so much more about like ADHD and this and that. And like, and she finally got there to that point because like I kept trying to explain to her, I can't just do it. I have executive dysfunction.
Yes.
I will sit in one spot for 3 solid hours trying to convince myself to stand up and go do a thing that I want to do. And the whole time I'm hating myself for not.
Why can't I do this?
And I've been called lazy in my life a lot. And and I have to remind myself, and I say this to anybody who ever says, oh, I had a lazy day.
Mm-hmm.
Lazy people don't hate themselves for being lazy.
Yes.
Lazy people are not bothered by the laziness. They're happy. They're good.
It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's like not knowing how little you know. Like lazy people don't comprehend. It's like if you were to like go to a therapist and be like, I lost my temper on my kids the other day, like I yelled at them, and like I worry that I'm being emotionally abusive. The first thing they'll tell you is the fact that you are recognizing this means that you're not. Like people who do this are not introspective about it. They just move on, and they're like, yelling's cool, and they just go on with their lives. And the mere awareness, but the awareness of it nonetheless doesn't make you feel better.
No,
because to you it's like, I know that if I still feel like I could just will myself into taking action, and half of like my own like self therapy is just like with making decisions and stuff. You should see my Google Calendar. I schedule my leisure because making decisions at the time was a big time waster and I never ended up doing anything. So I schedule it like a freaking weirdo.
No, okay.
But it helps. And then I do things. And at the end of the day, I go, I did things today, and I'm just future proofing it. I'm just I'm making advanced decisions that are low stakes. And I just follow through on them later. I treat it like someone has sent me an email and said, okay, now do this. And I go, yes, sir.
So I want to get to that point.
Yeah.
I have several friends who schedule everything.
Yep.
And I know that it's a great idea, but I also know from past experience that if I'm the person holding myself accountable, then I'll just
let yourself slide. Yeah.
I have yet to find a better self-motivation than fun.
Yeah.
So far I'm just the standard, like, give me the dopamine.
Yep.
And so like one friend of mine has started giving herself rewards when she does something that's hard for her. So she's like, I'm going to go pick up my prescriptions from the pharmacy. I need to treat myself with a small little reward because I need the incentive to go to the pharmacy and like pick up my prescriptions.
Yeah.
And it could just be like, oh, she like grabbed a candy bar at the register or something, you know, it doesn't have to be anything big. It just needs to be like something. Potty training kids with candy, giving dogs treats. We can all be trained.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone's trainable. So with this is certainly not an ad for Google, but with Google Calendar, because that's what I use. Like since I color code the events based on what they're related to. When I'm done with them, I turn them green, and turning them green is like, oh my God, it's like, wow.
I understand that. It's very satisfying to check a box. It's very satisfying to say, this is complete.
Make a list.
Yeah. Check the things off the list. So I need to make myself do things like that so that I don't just sit in a pit of despair for several hours doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I fully identify with that. And just having some kind of like neurochemical, imbalance like ADHD or autism, anything that is not neurotypical, it changes your relationship with everything, and even leisure. Like most people think of it in terms of like focusing for work or for school, but it's everything. It affects your ability to actually take action on things you want to do. Yeah. And
if you're thirsty and you need to refill your glass, but you can't make yourself get up and go do the thing. So you just stay there being thirsty with an empty glass. Yeah. And not that you have this problem since you aren't drinking your water.
Well, but it's because of that. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know I can tell by just the way my mouth feels that I need water, and I don't feel like getting up.
I have found 2 different apps that I have really enjoyed using when I use them. So one of them is a focus app called Forest.
Okay.
And it's literally just you set a focus timer, but you the app can, obviously with your permissions, shut you out of every other app on your phone.
I was going to say, does it brick your phone until you do the thing?
So you can, it doesn't totally brick it. A friend of mine recently got a thing that actually does brick it, and it has like a card you have to scan on your phone to unlock your phone.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed. But this app, you set a timer, a focus timer. You can go in and you can custom allow whatever app. So what I have is when I know, like I know I have work stuff to do and I'm really struggling with focusing, I'll open the app and I'll set a timer for like, usually I do an hour because I need a solid hour to like get into something, get something done, and then be like, okay, I can take a little bit of a break now.
Yeah.
And that's when I get up and I go get my water and I go to the bathroom, and then I come back and I sit and I try to do another hour. Mm-hmm. And in this app, you grow trees. So it's called Forest.
Oh.
And if you give up, your plant dies.
Oh no.
So it makes me feel so bad for the plant. And when I very first started dating my girlfriend, we discovered that we both used the app. And mm-hmm. so I started planting their favorite flowers. And so then I would screenshot it and send it to them and be like, look, I focused and I got you some flowers.
Oh, wow. And that's that is a real gesture that counts.
It helps me to know. And even before that, it still worked because I didn't want my plants to die. And they you can look at your forest, like each day, each week, month, whatever. And you can see all the little trees that you planted and be proud of yourself. And also they're pretty and they give you a lot of different kinds of plants. And some of them are real and some of them are just funny little cartoon made up things that have like holiday plants.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's, as much as it annoys me that everything has become gamified.
I was going to say gamified.
Gamification is popular because it gives people the dopamine that they are so desperately seeking.
Yeah. It's scientifically sound.
Yes. And so I've learned that in some ways I can use that to my advantage.
Yep.
And I can gamify certain parts of my life. That's for work. And then for not work, I have another app that I may or may not continue using long term. But when I first started using it, the first several months, I would say, it helped me a lot. But it's an app where it's called Finch, and you have a little bird.
I've heard of Finch, yes.
Yeah, you have a little bird, and it's a self-care app. And so I have things on there that sometimes I don't do very well as somebody who tends to have a lot of the things wrong with my brain give me fatigue or I'll get a lot of depressive symptoms mm-hmm. and won't shower for a couple days.
Yeah.
Or I won't brush my teeth when I little things like that, or eating. So I have a little daily checklist, and it has some things that are okay if I don't do every day. Yeah. But then there's some things that it's okay, I got out of bed today. Check.
Yeah.
Because some days I don't get out of bed.
Yeah.
Some days I can't. My body, my mind, everything is just no.
Wow.
And that's part of why I'm working part-time, because I feel incapable of working full-time at the moment.
Yeah.
But leaning into hobbies, for me, it's about the process.
Yeah.
I don't care if I finish it. If I do, it's awesome. But if I don't finish it, it doesn't make me feel bad. I need to enjoy the process.
Yeah.
I need to enjoy what I'm doing. And it's the same way with fitness. I like functional fitness. I would rather go dancing. I would rather do yoga, go swimming,
hiking,
rock climbing, hiking. I would rather do any of those things because I enjoy doing those things.
Yeah.
I do not enjoy walking on a treadmill or picking up weights or looking at other people sweating across from me. That doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah. Part of it is the neurodivergence, but I think some of it is actual, just genuine, normal human functioning to look at that and go, but why am I doing this on part? What's the point of this? I'm not doing anything. Our ancestors would be you're exercising for for leisure, like
well, for health.
Well, but like, and of course that's because we don't hunt and gather anymore. So we don't get enough non-exercise active thermogenesis in our lives, like pursuing prey or like doing a bunch of stuff that we have now outsourced to machines and computers. But
we needed more enrichment in our enclosures.
But it wasn't just like the manual labor of doing stuff, burning calories. It's also like the idea that like I'm gonna go do something healthy, but again, there has to be a why. Why am I pedaling? Because I'm on a bike and I'm in the mountains and this is lovely. And not just I'm on a bike-like machine in a room where I'm actually not moving. And I'm just in a big room full of bikes, stationary bikes. And it doesn't do the same thing for your brain that going on an actual bike ride did. That's part of why I like running. I have a treadmill. I can't use it anymore. And part of it was, one is the fixed speed, because I don't run at fixed speeds and it tires me out and it sucks. So you need variable speed, but also it's like, but actually running outside does a lot more for your mind and body than, so if it rains,
being in nature.
Right. I have to run up and down this cul-de-sac a lot of the days because my kids are here. It's a 1/10 of a mile down and back. And I have to do that 30 times to run a 5K. It sucks, but it's better than a treadmill. I promise you.
I believe it.
Your brain needs to feel like it's actually achieving something and doing something and taking in something, and not just. That said, I do like lift, like little. I do like curls and I do push-ups, but
I do lift.
I do, yes, because I don't eat enough to maintain my muscle mass if I don't exercise. And I'll do like push-ups and stuff, but like it's a lot less fun than running, which isn't even that fun sometimes.
I don't think there's anything fun about running. Yes. I do not run. I walk, I dance, I swim, I climb. I do not run.
It's kind of, in a way, it's similar to riding in that you're more satisfied when it's over and you've achieved it, but the doing of it is unpleasant.
And that is why those things don't work for me.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not enjoying the process, it's not an achievement for me. There's nothing competitive about me until like it's necessary, I guess.
Yes.
Like I can be competitive. Yeah. But naturally I'm like, if I play a game, I'm just playing the game to have fun. I don't care if I win the game or lose the game.
Yeah.
I don't care if I do everything, that needs to be done in a game or whatever. Like, I'm just having a good time. I'm trying to have fun.
So like, I think what writing and reading for me, it's a few things. It's, I'm not naturally good at running, but I have natural willpower, and that's an advantage in running, and I have much more of it with age. I just got by on my youth when I was in high school running cross country, but I have asthma and allergies. Like I'm not a naturally good runner, nor am I tall and lean like runners usually are. And so like I had plenty against me, but I just sort of, I don't know, was drawn to it whatsoever. And then like I was always good with words, and writing came easily to me. So there are two things that I feel like I have a natural knack for in terms of, staying power. The rest of it is I have to fight my nature all the time because I am not a process oriented person. And those are two things where it's all about just showing up and doing it and trusting that eventually there's a bigger picture that will be a result. And so part of what's good for me about doing it is just doing it and going, well, I feel no different, but I will in a few months when I can see the difference this is making. But today I did something and I got nothing immediate from it. And that's good for me because I'm not naturally motivated that way. I need dopamine. And so doing something process oriented is like good training for my brain. Because otherwise I wouldn't do anything and I would slide all the way into laziness, like actual laziness. So I have to like impose that on myself. And also it's because like I know how to do these things and I know how to do them the right way and do them with longevity. And so if my only excuse is I don't feel like doing it, it's like, hey, that's fine. But like in a few months, you're going to wish you had showed up and knocked this out today. And so I'm playing with my own delayed gratification with those two things, but that doesn't mean it doesn't suck a lot. But it's the having done it repeatedly and consistently that ends up being the satisfying thing. And then the more you do it, the more you show up and just do it, the more I don't make excuses. Like when I show up and just knock out a short run, even if I haven't had anything to eat except like my coffee, then it's just like, if nothing happens during the run, then it's like, oh, well, that was fine. Nothing happened. Your concerns were immaterial. You still got it done, and that didn't stop you. And so it kind of slowly whittles away my urge to find an excuse not to do it. That's what it does for me. But when you tell somebody that who does not want to run, it will not convince them to run. They're like, well, that does sound bad still. I still don't want to do it.
I know. I have a lot of friends who are runners for some reason. And like everybody talks about the runner's high.
I've rarely experienced it.
It's pretty cool that your brain's like legitimately producing cannabinoids. It's pretty cool.
The feeling I like is when I stop. That's not the high, but it's the ceasing of immediate pain. That's good enough for me. I don't think I've ever felt the high. I just know that I can stop moving.
Yeah. I know people that have learned to trick their bodies by getting a little high before running so that then once the runner's high kicks in, they like just maintain a level. Which I think is brilliant. It's a brilliant scientific way to like trick your body into doing something you don't want to do. My brain, on the other hand, it cannot be tricked or convinced to do any of those things. And I'm a little bit jealous, I think, of people like you that can be like, yeah, but I have this goal and I'm focused on this thing. And I'm like, yeah, I would never give myself that goal though,
I know myself enough now to know that like, I'm going to be mad I didn't at least try to do this a year from now. Cause I'm going to be like, I'm going to look at the scale and be like, okay, well, I have a sedentary job. I don't get a really good sleep. I have kids and, stuff. I'm stressed. It's just like, there's not a lot of health factors I can control in my life. And it's like, but I can go running and I can choose to skip it too many times. And so it's more of just like I just know I'm going to wish I had done this later. And so it's like with the scheduling, it's like, you just got to do it and you stick to it or do it on a makeup day or whatever.
I don't know why I don't have that.
I listen to music. Like I have to listen to music when I run. I have to have something driving the pace. That's how I get cheap dopamine when I run, because I gotta say, going on a long run without music is boring as fuck. It sucks. It's probably good for you. I mean, I know it's good for you. I know it's good to sort of just lose yourself in your own footsteps and your own breath, and to not have any stimulus and retreat into your mind. Like the reason we tell kids like it's good to be bored sometimes, because that's
when you get creative.
I don't want to be bored while I'm running. I can go be bored in my house for a set amount of time. I don't want to go on a 6-mile run and be bored for
the whole time,
an hour and a half. Like,
that sounds terrible.
That's not where I go to be bored. I'm here to exercise. I'm exercising. I'm moving. I'm doing the thing. I'm here. I'm doing the thing. We don't have to be bored. That's part of what's interests me about people's hobbies and stuff. It's like for some people, there's like a built-in, like something that's good for you about it. It's the enjoyment, but it's also some of it's the why, some of it's mission driven. Like they feel like they're giving back or doing something that actually makes a positive difference or gives people something that that their actual jobs or day jobs don't provide. And I think about running and writing a lot as being linked these days, because they have they're a similar beast in that way. You can enjoy them and you can enjoy the process. And it's not that I don't, but it would be a lie to say I super love doing them both all the time, every minute, because that's just not true. And it never will be. I just like that I can do them. part of it's like I'm an able-bodied. I don't have any like I have working legs and arms. Like I can do this, like even with asthma.
Well, technically that's not true because you wear glasses.
So funny thing, my vision's great. My vision's 2015. It's better than perfect. I have a muscular problem that gives me double vision up close. These are prism lenses that fix diplopia.
I love
my
that.
eyesight is excellent.
I have to wear reading glasses for working on the computer or when I'm doing embroidery and stuff, because I have weak muscles in my eyes that cause them to have muscle spasms. And when they spasm, my vision goes from 20/20 to 20/25. And so I lose I become nearsighted because my pupils get locked into place and they will not dilate.
Yep.
It's weird. Bodies are weird. It's from doing this too much with a phone, a book, a computer, when I embroider, I'm like in it, everything I do is in shrimp pose, hunched over.
I've recently learned, I don't remember where, but like the whole stereotype of like nerds wearing glasses. All these nerds, of course, they have glasses. Like, what's up with that? It's just like this, it's like a stereotype. And it's like, it's actually the reverse. It's reading books kills your farsight. And so the people who tend to read enough books to where they need glasses tend to be smart because they read so much.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you see someone who's wearing like glasses, it's a safe bet that they probably read a lot. And they won't see you coming if you sneak up on them from far away.
I'm still thinking about you saying that you didn't have any disabilities and how we look at the word disability as this bad thing, but you've already told me multiple disabilities that you have.
Several. I'm a mess.
I know that you have disabilities. I have disabilities, and because this is what I do for my job is get people to be able to relate to other people. But part of that is reminding people that disabled is not a bad word. It's just a word that describes something. And in this case, like if someone is disabled, why does that then become this bad thing? And it's because people don't like to think about the things they deem to be abnormal or wrong in their mind, anything that's different from average.
Yeah.
And I think everything that I do somehow aligns with the fact that the world is grayscale. And so like, I don't have favorite things because there's a spectrum of things that I like all of these different things from different areas. Why do I have to rank them?
Yeah. I find it difficult to single out. People ask me all the time, like I have a movie podcast. So what do you think I get asked all the time? What's your favorite movie? And I'm like,
all of them.
There's genres. It just depends what I want to watch. And it's not what they want to hear. They want to hear you say The Godfather.
People love absolutism.
Yeah.
Like they love because
certainty.
I think they like to think that they've nailed a person down. They're like, I know who you are because I know this thing about you. And it's like, oh no, I have depths to me. Yeah. We are all these lumps of flesh filled with electricity and hormones that we can't control. And
our favorite things are circumstantial. Like it just, I don't have a favorite food. I just know food that I like.
Yes, exactly.
But it's like, oh, if you had a last meal, what would it be? And it's like, it depends. Do I feel like eating chicken at my last meal?
So do you want to know
my answer to that question, by the way, like when I've been asked, like, what would your last meal be? And it's like, why would I eat anything?
Yeah.
Like if I'm on like death row and it's like, what's your last meal? It's like, nothing. It's pointless.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
I won't even be alive to pass it. Who cares? What a waste. Why are you feeding me? Give it to someone else.
Every time someone asks me my favorite food, I always say pizza and sushi because I love them both equally.
Yeah.
And also because they come in a wide variety of flavors.
Yes. Yes.
Once again, I just pick genres of things.
Yes.
I pick categories. Can we just have categories?
I feel like depending on the manner of my execution, I would pick something like awful for my stomach. And then I would just like mercilessly fart and make them endure that while they're like hooking me up to the chair. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna let a few rip.
That's
I wouldn't
the
normally eat
best
this,
plan.
but I thought this would be cool to do.
Oh my gosh, you just eat a bowl of lentils.
Yeah, just whatever is worst for my stomach and bowels. That's what I'm eating. After this kills me, you're gonna have an awful mess on your hands. Good luck with that.
And that's also why I'm constantly reminding people that everything is a spectrum and that everything is gray area. The world is, there's not black and white.
Binary choice is like
the binary.
Just a thing that's sold to you because it sounds simple and you don't want to think about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's like everything is complicated and it's hard to sell people. It's hard to manipulate people who recognize that. It's hard to sell them things. It's hard to control them. So the simpler the world appears to you, the easier you are to manipulate in all areas. So that's the takeaway is recognize that isn't the case with literally anything.
It's never made sense to me that people can't have their opinions change over time, or that people can't.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I might like something now and 20 years from now look back at it and go, oh no, like let's not talk about that. Who knows?
I bet when I'm 60, I'll be like, I can't believe I tried to run. I can't believe I used to even justify it.
You should pick up dancing.
I'm not a good dancer.
That's why you take classes. They teach you.
That's true. It would be silly if I were like, I'm a great dancer. I'll go do the thing I know I can do.
It is fun when the things that you know how to do are fun, and then you can go do them for fun.
Yeah.
But I have a friend that's that teaches line dancing in Mobile.
I'm very musical. So I'm sure I could take to dancing. Like I've taken dance classes here. I mean, we had to do ballroom when I was in grade school, but I took a swing dancing class when I was in college. Yeah, we had to. Tremendous.
I did not have to do things like that, but I did have to learn the watermelon crawl, the electric slide, the Macarena.
Yeah, I still don't know. I think they tried to teach us the electric slide and I was like, I don't, what? But I took a swing dancing class in college. That was actually fun. I was fairly good at that.
Where'd you go to college?
SCAD. I went to the Savannah College of Art and Design.
I went to the University of South Alabama, which is 45 minutes from the trailer I grew up in. And I also took dance classes in college. And when I was younger, I have a total of 2 years of dance training under my belt. That's it. But in college, I took ballroom, which was just intro to all the main ballrooms, included swing, included the waltz, a foxtrot, just kind of covered the main ballroom. And then I also took a Latin dancing class. So then we got the rumba and the cha-cha-cha and samba. I don't know. I learned a bunch of random dances.
My algorithm gave me on Instagram for a while just completely played on all of my shame around this subject. Dance groups where they are randomly paired with a partner, they're given a random song and they just start dancing and it's excellent.
Oh, yeah. I have a couple friends that do that and it's impressive.
Yeah, it's bad enough that y'all are excellent dancers, but you don't have to practice. You can just do it.
But they do practice a lot.
Right. It's years of practice that leads to that ability to improvise.
Well, and with ballroom, if you are a good lead paired with a good follower,
I'm a horrible lead.
You can do anything.
Especially when I was a kid. I was like, I don't want to make you do anything.
I learned how to dance lead in college because mostly women took the class, and I took the class without a partner. I just signed up and took a class and was like, I'll dance with who I dance with. Yeah. I usually ended up getting paired with the assistant instructor because most of the people signed up with a partner. Yeah. But some classes I would I would get partnered up with somebody and I would usually dance lead because they would just go, I don't know, I can't lead. And I'd be like, it's exactly the same as following, except you're lead.
You're doing it first.
Yeah. And turns out I'm not a bad leader. And I later, when I took a class, I signed up with a buddy of mine and we met in that class. And by the end of the class, we were like dance partners and it was really fun. He would lead and I would follow technically, but I would lead from the following position. And
interesting.
So really we should have just swapped, but like basically I can lead in a lot of things, I guess. I do end up being an unofficial leader of a lot of teams and stuff, but I never try to be the leader. It's always something I get pushed into.
Yeah. Well, that's healthy. You don't want people to go, I should lead.
Listen, no one knows what to do but me.
I think we have decided that like people who want to be in charge probably shouldn't be.
The people who don't want to do it it's like idiocracy. The people who think through their children, like fewer of those people reproduce.
I've always kind of liked the papal conclave because that's essentially how it works. They're just like, all those people just go, hey, you should do it. And it doesn't really matter if you don't want to. If we all vote that you should do it, you're the Pope.
Yeah.
And like most of the time, the person elected Pope is like, shit, I'm the Pope now. Because everyone decided like, hey, it should be you. It should be you, bud.
I wish that U.S. politics worked that way, that we could just be like, all right, listen, everybody, we're going to get together. We're going to nominate some people and vote. And it's like, you have to be nominated by a person and then the people have to vote for you. And then, which is what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah. Whatever's backwards from what we're doing now seems like it would work better.
A lot of things would work better. Putting a house cat in charge would probably be better.
Unless they'd eat up those expensive chairs, though. Pull the buttons off of all the...
That cat would be spending its time destroying chairs and not destroying families.
The world?
See what I'm saying? It's already better.
It's true. The cat's not going to try to steal from the treasury or anything.
I mean, it might poop in it.
It'll poop in it, but that's okay. We can fix that. That's a problem we can handle. It just needs treats.
Yeah, or wet food.
All right. Well, that was Fabrics. Trisha, thank you for coming on and talking about your hobby. It's always interesting. Like the hobby itself is always the thing. But it's more interesting to me to hear the why people get into it, what it does for them, what it's giving them that they don't get in other places, and that often requires a lot of tangents and context, which I like. So,
well, as a person with ADHD, that's how I have all of my conversations.
That's how I tell stories.
Communicate.
Yes. All right.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.